Greetings, my beautiful lovelies. It's Emmy. How are you? It's great to see you and welcome back. Today I'm going to be making a pizza, but a different kind of pizza. And it was inspired by the vulgar chef. Kyle came up with this recipe, and ever since I saw it, I said, you know what? I need to try that because this pizza is made with a chicharrón base. Chicharrón is pork skin that has been deep fried to a crackly perfection. We're going to be using that as our pizza base. So this happens to be gluten-free too. I believe this would be great if you are on a keto diet as well. But the reason why I was so tickled by this recipe Kyle came up with is because it's a supreme style pizza. Now you can make any kind of pizza you like, but this pizza holds a special place in my heart because when my brother and I were latchkey kids, we would often have a Celeste pizza, which you could buy 10 for $1, and I believe they're $1.50 now, so inflation is real. My mom would buy them when they were on sale, pop them in the freezer, and we would often have them as an afternoon snack. We'd pop them into the toaster oven, and to this day, that's my favorite combination for a pizza. I love peppers, onions, mushrooms, and sausage. So today we're going to be doing a supreme style pizza on a giant chicharrón because I found one at a Mexican grocery store. Look at this. Look at these chicharrones. Aren't they fantastic? Look how big it is. It's absolutely enormous. I saw them and I remembered the vulgar chef's recipe, so I said it's time. So first of all, let's give these a taste. I've never had chicharrones this large before, but I'm imagining it's going to taste as delicious as most chicharrones are. Pork skin, fried, salted, simple and delicious. Oh, and by the way, if you don't know Kyle over at The Vulgar Chef, I will put a link down below to all of his socials. Very, very creative recipes, I should say. Alrighty, let's give the chicharrones a taste. So here they are. Look at this enormous bag. And how much is in here? This is 1 pound of fried pork skins. The last time I had pork skins was when I bought them from the dollar store, and I had Brim's brand, and they were absolutely fan-stinkin-tastic. And I'm curious to see how these ones compare. This is Aztec brand, this is Aztec brand, and these are made in Mexico. Alrighty. Oh my word. Incredible. It is massive. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? And it kind of looks like a pizza slice, doesn't it? It's massive. Let's see if it fits first before we do anything. Holy smackanolies. Yeah, it fits. Barely. We're gonna try it. Alrighty, here's the chicharrones up close. All bubbly and lovely. And here's another one that's a little bit thicker. So different textures for different kind of thicknesses of pork skin. Let's give it a taste. Itadakimasu. Mmm. So good. Fresh, crunchy, just a little bit salty, but full of porky flavor. Scrumptious. Love the texture, which is somewhat foamy, but somewhat hard of a crunch, airy, but sometimes depending on the thickness of the skin, there's a different type of crunch. So let's taste this one. See? Mmm. This one has more of a crunch of like a crackling, really, really hard, crunchy, crunchy crunch. Hard texture, but still lovely porky flavor. And some of them are more airy. So there's a lighter, almost like a puffed rice puck. You know those rice cakes? This one's airier, bubblier. This one, this one is somewhere in between. This is what I like. I want some kind of salsa or something to dip that in because these are quite rich. It'd be nice to have a little bit of kind of acidity or tang to kind of cut down on the richness. Alrighty, we've tasted our chicharrones. Now let's build our pizza. So I'm gonna heat up a skillet and we are going to saute our ingredients first. Because our pizza crust is already cooked, we're not going to be cooking this for very long in the oven, and so it will be helpful if our toppings are a little bit pre-cooked, because otherwise they'll be raw on top, right? At any rate, here's our pan nice and hot. Got some sweet Italian sausage here. Oop. I'm just going to break this up. I'm not even going to add any oil to this pan because there's plenty of fat in the sausage. So I pressed it into one layer so that it could caramelize. And now I'm going to scrape it up and chop it up some more. See how it gets nice and browned when you do that? Yum. Now on the Celeste pizza, there were always just a few of them on the pizza, and they were just like little balls. And I remember I always liked it when things were evenly distributed on the pizza. So while it was frozen, I would rearrange the mushroom slices, for example, so that they were kind of spread out. Yes, I was that kind of kid. Get all of those little bits off. That's yumminess. And just like that, we're done. Boom. Smells so good in here. Pork, fennel, oregano. Delicious. Okay. Now, in that same pan, I'm gonna add a little drizzle of oil and some onions. Some green and red bell pepper. All chopped about the same size in these little kind of 1/4-inch cubes. I probably won't use all of this, I imagine. I'm not sure. We'll see. Look, it's so beautiful already. While we're at it, a little bit of salt. And pepper. So just until it just begins to kind of soften. Like that. But there's still some crunch. Smells so good. So now we're ready to assemble the chicharita. Now, one thing Kyle did say was that he might, if he were to repeat this, put the sauce on after, because when he baked it, it got a little soggier. He wanted it to be crunchy. So I think I might do that. We'll just put a light kind of brushing of sauce first, and then we'll add some more on top. Because we don't want this to get soggy. We want this to have a beautiful, listen to that. Can you hear that? Snap, crackle, pop. It's like Rice Krispies. Okay, amazing. I don't know why it's doing that. It's like it's alive. Alrighty, now we're gonna add cheese. And this is the pre-shredded version because, I don't know, it seems appropriate. And I'm not gonna add too much. I've actually never been a huge fan of tons of cheese on my pizza anyways. So yeah, we're gonna do that. Now we're gonna do our sausage. Crumble that over it. Okay, now our beautiful pepper onion mix. Oh yeah, look at that. That makes it, that's like a celebration. That's kind of hot, so I'm gonna use my spoon. Look at that. That's beautiful. And now just a little more cheese. And then once we eat, we'll dot this with a little more sauce, right? Just to preserve our crispness. That's beautiful. It's so festive. I mean, boom. Already. That looks excellent. Alrighty, I've got my oven preheated to 375 on convection. Again, we want to try to keep this crispy. And once the cheese is melted, we'll be ready to eat. So I'm guessing 5 minutes or so, maybe a little less, 3 to 5 minutes. All right, lovelies, I'll be back in just a few. Will this fit in the oven? Not sure. It kind of fit when I tried before. All right, here we go. Damn, it's in. I'll close it and watch that thing like a hawk. No browning. No burning, I mean. Alrighty, lovelies, this is done. Ooh, wowzers. This was like 3 minutes. 3 minutes of beautifulness. Look at that. That looks beautiful. Okay, before we do our taste, we're gonna just dot on some sauce on top. I know it sounds crazy, but because we don't want this to be soggy, I'm gonna put the sauce on now. But that's what they do with
Detroit style pizza, right? And that's fantastic. All right, so a little extra sauce in those spots that are exposed. All right, which bite am I gonna take? Can I lift this up? Sheesh, let's try. Alrighty. Oh yeah, it's light, look at that. Oh, beautiful. Alrighty. Look at the size of it. The Chicharrón pizza supreme style. Itadakimasu. I think we got the crunchy. Even crunchier after we put it in the oven. I also put it on convection, so there's lots of hot air, meaning convection oven just means a fan is blowing so that the hot air is going around your food and helps kind of crisp and cook things. Sometimes it overcooks things, so you have to kind of be careful. But that bite was mostly just chicharrones because it was right on the edge, but super crispy, crunchy, full of porky flavor, a little bit of sauce on that bite. I want a bite with all the toppings, so I'm gonna move this pokey piece out of the way and get that bite right in there. Look at that. Yes. Okay, here we go. That is good eats. Oh yeah. That combination of peppers, onions, sausage, and cheese just totally takes me back to my Celeste pizza days. But this is different because we have the chicharrones as the crust. There's a much stronger, porkier flavor, much bigger crunch than any Celeste pizza that I ever had. Because the chicharrones base has such a strong flavor, I think it can handle even more flavor. So more sauce put on after, or maybe with each bite. Yes, I think that's the way to keep the crunch. Add some sauce with each bite. Just like marinara breadsticks, when you have a side of marinara, if you just dip it into it as you're eating it, I think that's the way to preserve the crispness of the crust, because that's really a big part of the sell for me on this, is that crunchiness. Next time I would also add red pepper flakes. A little bit of kick, spicy kick, I think would enhance this too. I think it can handle it. Maybe some mushrooms. I didn't have any, so I didn't put any on, but I love mushrooms on this kind of pizza. So there you have it. Giant slice of pizza made with a chicharrones for the base. Pretty ingenious, I say. Once again, don't be tempted to put too much on this because you really want it to be as crunchy as possible. Otherwise it'll be a little bit kind of rubbery and chewy, and you don't want that for your pizza. Alrighty, my lovelies, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that one. I hope you learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media, like this video, subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one. Toodaloo, take care, bye! I cannot wait to see what my kids think about this. Oh my goodness.